There's just a view of the marina. There's a temple there on my right hand side. Let's see how high it goes. We'll have a look at the top there and we'll see what the views are going to say. Definitely make a plan. To the left. Bullshit and welcome to Eire. My name is Ben. Today's episode is going to see us at Lough Key Forest and Activity Park. So I'm super excited to show you that. So before we get started, I'm going to show you how we got there. So enjoy the footage. I'm going to be filling in some detail as we go along the video. So be sure to like, comment and subscribe. And I'll see you shortly. Bye for now. Cloudy, so there could be a small chance of rain in the afternoon, so hopefully we'll be done by the time the rain arrives. We'll probably spend a couple of hours. There's an old post office here on the corner. You've probably seen in the previous video, in case you haven't seen that one. One of my previous ones was Boyle Abbey. I'll put a little icon on the top left. We went over this bridge here. This is Boyle River. Missed the previous video of the chieftain statue, or the Gaelic chieftain. I'm going to put a link in the top right hand side corner. Definitely check the video out. Really stunning location, and the best of it, it's on the way to Sligo, so you can't. Lough Key Forest and Activity Park. We're going to take a right straight in here. There's a beautiful drive here through the woods until we get to the main centre. Well, this particular area, there's loads of walks on the way in, so there's an area where you have to pay to park, or you can just stop in one of the lay-bys here, as a lot of people tend to do, and then you can just walk through the actual park. So it's €4 to get into the main parking area, but the reason why I want to go in there is the visitor centre's in there, the bike's a little closer, because otherwise the further I walk and the more tired I'm going to get, and obviously I don't want that. So we're going to go to the boom there, we'll pay the €4 to get in, and then we'll pay for the actual tour that allows us into that one section, which I'm really excited about. So look at this, it's fantastic. We're through the woods at the moment. You can probably see a bit of imaging behind me, but a really lovely place. They say up to about 150,000 visitors used to come to this location. Which is pretty substantial. It was obviously a few years ago before COVID, but hopefully those numbers return again, and hopefully through my videos you guys decide to come and see these places, because a lot of people tend to go past certain locations and they don't take advantage of the area that they're in. So hopefully you might consider it and drop in. I'm going to carry on for a bit longer here, and I'll check in with you just now. Thick of it here. I believe there's a nursery or gardens down there. This whole ground area was part of the Rockingham estate, which there used to be a fabulous house on site, but it burnt down in 1957 due to an electrical fire. If you check my Facebook page, I put information there on the location, the amount of acres. About 2,400 acres were on the site. So be sure to check that out. My Facebook page, Eire. I'm always posting on there daily. And then this is an old stable. Apparently they've received funding last year to redo this, and it looks fantastic. It's all like a Georgian stable. There's the visitor centre, and there's a fantastic castle there called McDermott's Castle. It used to be owned by the McDermotts who built it. It's on that centre island there, and we're going to definitely try and make a plan and get the drone out. But there's a lovely marina here as well. How you doing, everyone? Just got here at Lough Key Forest and Activity Park. There's bits of stuff all over the place. I thought there was €4 to get in. It must be during winter. But here we are. Take a look around. The sun's out as well. I probably should have got my sun cream out. But anyway, we're going to head into the visitor. How you doing, everyone? I just paid for the ticket there for the Rockingham House experience. So we're going to be heading through. If you can look behind me here, there is a tunnel access here. When the house was in its prominent period, in order for them not to see the servants, they actually built a tunnel which led to the lock here, so that whenever goods were delivered, they wouldn't have to see the servants. That is one interesting thing to build. But we're going to take a look. It might be a bit dark, so I'm going to see how it goes. Oh, there's some light coming through. Must be like a waiting area. There's the tunnel there. There we go. So on my Facebook page I said there it was the designed by the architect John Nash in 1809. We can see the layout there of Rockingham. The tunnel. There is literally light at the end of the tunnel. But wow, what an amazing place! Imagine building all of this. I can just imagine the amount of money it must have cost to build a house like this. And then not only that, to kind of build these tunnels. Oh, we've just come through the tunnel here. This is what's the remnants of the actual house. So these are the foundations, the basement apparently. We can see it there with all these stones put in place. They're referred to as the sunken garden. The basement covered apparently 2 floors, and to the extent of the basement was so big that later on a ramp was actually built to facilitate guests' vehicles and stuff for when they were actually arriving. The whole expense for the project, the house cost £26,500 back then to build, and on top of that, it was the whole project for the entire estate apparently cost £400,000, which back then was an enormous amount of money. And frankly, I'm surprised they didn't go bankrupt during the actual whole process, because to spend that sort of amount of money, you've got to be making sufficient money for that. And in 1957, unfortunately, there was an electrical fire at the house while Cecil was away, and unfortunately the house didn't survive. He also wanted to try and repair it, but to no avail. The cost was just too great. In its place they put a viewing tower, which is called the Moylurg, at least that's the pronunciation, tower here. It's a viewing platform that goes all the way up. The lift doesn't work apparently, or it's out of order at the moment, so stairs only, which is fantastic. For me, I'm happy with that. So we can see how high it goes. We'll have a look at the top there and we'll see what the views are going to be like. What's also nice about this particular tour is there's also a treetop canopy where they've actually built ramps through the actual treetops, which is I'm super excited to go and have a look. After the actual fire, the house was deemed unsafe in about the 1970s and was demolished pretty much from there. But it's a pity. If you look at, I'll post a picture on my Facebook of what the original house used to look like. It was a staggering sight. But as I said, the original owner who built it spared no expense for it. He wanted it to be the grandest house there was. This is what we're looking at here. Looking down onto the actual garden. view of Lough Key. It's the many walks we're going to be exploring this place now. But we still haven't got to the top here, so Moylurg Tower was built in the early 1970s. Takes its name from the ancient kingdom of Moylurg, the stronghold of the MacDermott clan, who ruled this land for centuries long before the King family arrived. King family is a very prominent family in this area, and King House is another place in Boyle worth going to. Probably the reason why I haven't gone there yet is I'm not sure if I'm even going to be able to film. But because it's obviously you're inside the house and it's a national monument. But here we go. MacDermott's castle there is just behind this tree line here. Apparently the lawns were all landscaped by one of the top landscapers at the time. So everything was done to precision when the house was built. So the lawns going up towards the actual main house, the way everything was done, the woodland, the way they landscaped all the gardens that we see all around us. So it's really paying off dividends now. All of that stuff got done. Anyway, we'll get a few snaps up here and then we're going to head back down. And then looks like the wind's starting to pick up a bit there. Apparently there's no map or instructions, so you just follow the route for the self-guided tour here. So we'll see how we get on. I'll see we'll pretty much know where to go to next. Oh, there's a bit of a board here. It says the sad demise of Rockingham House. We can see there that is one of the shots there of the fire that devastated the house, and that's the main lobby. You can see the grand staircase, and obviously what's left of the entrance there of the house once the roof had collapsed in. And that's an image of what the house looked like. Robert Edward King commissioned the building of the house, who became Lord Lorton. This is all that remains of the foundations. There was a kitchen lady who actually ran the kitchen, and her name was Mrs. Hogan at the time. And funny enough, it's just going through the amount of cooking that must have been involved in a grand house like this. And you know, funny enough, I look at my own sort of cooking skills, and they're nowhere near that lady's, that's for sure. Because I suppose if you think about it, it must have been an extremely busy time. It's like all your job is just to cook consistently and bring out these extravagant meals for all these guests that are obviously coming through. And it must have been an absolute phenomenal position to be in, because you're sort of remembering all these all the foods that you make, and consistently providing these foods on a regular basis. I mean, just amazing. Okay, we're heading into the second tunnel now. This was more a utility tunnel than anything else. So whenever they were bringing up items, coal, provisions, that sort of thing, they were obviously brought up here. There's an image of the tools there. Many of the tools were stored here, large. Wow, you can actually see some of that. They've actually still got some of the tools. And some of the stonework and the mouldings. Well, there's sufficient lighting here, so we'll make our way through. So we've got the second access tunnel here, and apparently they would bring up, the coal would be brought from Eire mines. Now that's another place I'd like to try and go to. It's some of the one of the biggest coal mines in the area. We were at a place called Eire. The lighting's sufficient. That you can see behind me there, that's the expanse of the tunnel. And we're heading to the outside here. I'll tell you what, worth it for €10. I mean, I originally thought that you'd have to pay €4 to get in. Technically, you don't have to pay €4. You just pull up to the bollard and park inside. So technically, that's €6 to come and see this place. So we'll continue on. Right, here we are, we're at Lough Key. Oh, there used to be an old dock here. So it hasn't been in use, they've blocked it up. The mysteries of Lough Key. Okay, so we've got Hermit Island in the middle there, according to this diagram here. Drummond's Island, which is to the left of it, and something called Cragnon, which I think might be there. Orchard Island over there, Green Island over there, and we've got Castle Island right over there. There's an old legend of a druid that apparently drowned in the lake here. Apparently the waters rose up and swallowed him up. His name was Say, I think it's C-E pronunciation, I hope I got that right. But interesting, it was right here. The kind of old dock area, which was just on the left there, I was just talking about, that's where the old barges used to come in and bring provisions and stores for the original house. Right, we're just heading up to probably the treetop canopy walk. I can see it already. It's going to look fabulous. I hope you guys are liking the video so far. Please give me a like, comment down below, and consider subscribing. Wow, look at this. There we go. So it looks like the kind of treetop walkway here is specifically for the tour, so you can't just jump onto it at a later date if you haven't paid. So let's see how we get on. There's McDermott's castle there behind these trees. A lot of the trees that were planted here were all consisted of hardwood, which was ash, sycamore and oak trees apparently. And according to the trees that were planted here on the right, a lot of them were for basically scenery purposes, just for the house. Big tall trees going up. Lovely, absolutely lovely place. Pay the €10, everybody, and just do the tour. McDermott's Castle Island, just over here. It dates back probably to about the 12th century. There probably would have been some sort of fortification there originally. The castle that we see today was built in the early 1800s by Lord Lorton, the same man who built Rockingham House. So it's interesting that he built that, and probably not long before he built Rockingham House. And I'm thinking that he probably got sick and tired of rowing or getting his servants there to kind of row him over to the castle. So it could be maybe the barge facilities couldn't facilitate him going over there, and you know, probably 10 years later he decided to build a proper house on the mainland. But a beautiful place. As I said, many years ago it was rated as one of the top 25 castles to see in the world, and I did try to find a bit of research to see if that was still the case. Obviously on some sites yes, and some sites no, but there it is, and today it's known as Castle Island. Oh, we continue the canopy walk here. You can see the different levels, so that would be the walk as you like effectively, or obviously you can pay the €10 and then see the house grounds. There's a yew tree that was that is on the site here, and apparently during ancient times there were severe penalties for anyone who actually cut one down, because they saw it as a very sacred tree, and it was interesting to see. I've never heard of those penalties being in place for cutting down a tree, but obviously specific trees were related to pagan mythology, and the yew tree was one of them. It continues on. There's a little section here. And that's where we've come from there. I believe that to be the ice house, but we'll take a closer look at that shortly. I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, ice house? We'll come back to that one shortly. And we're basically back to where we started. The noises around here are just fantastic. And we're headed back to the visitor centre. So this is that's the way we came up on that side there, and this is our exit here. And this is where we've just come from. Well, we're going to finish off the video, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe down below. I hope you've really enjoyed the facilities here, and hope you've enjoyed the video. But look forward to your comments down below, and I'll see you all in the next video. Clearly labelled ice house, and basically a structure. Come into an area here, and the trees are absolutely massive. Bog garden. So, I mean, windows there at some point, or